Welcome to this lesson on operations with functions, where you will learn how to add, subtract, multiply with functions. Let's review some key vocabulary, some function vocabulary. You may have seen something like this before in the past, and it is read as, so we read this as f of x. So when you see it within parentheses, we just need to put a little of there. So with the g in front, not much changes. It's just read as g of x. So when I say those words, f of x or g of x, I'm referring to these functions. Let's dive right into our first example on adding. So we are given that f of x is 5x minus 9, and g of x is x squared minus 7x plus 6. And we are to find f of x plus g of x. All we need to do is take the equation for f of x, which is 5x minus 9, and I'm going to add it with x squared minus 7x plus 6. I write it all out in one line, f of x plus g of x. I put both equations together, and now all we are looking for is like terms. We start with our powers. I have a positive 1x squared. There's nothing else to combine it with, so I'm left with x squared. Now I look for, let's use this color. I look for my x's. So I have 5x minus 7x. Well, that's a negative 2x, so I write minus 2x. And lastly, I see negative 9 plus 6. Negative 9 plus 6 is negative 3. So f of x plus g of x is equal to x squared minus 2x minus 3. Addition was fairly simple. With subtraction, it's not as easy, but it is. There's one little wrinkle that you're going to see with subtraction. So we have g of x minus f of x, where f of x is 3x minus 6, and g of x is 2x squared minus 4x plus 8. So we have g of x minus f of x. So I'm going to first write g of x as 2x squared minus 4x plus 8. We will subtract f of x. When we subtract, I put my subtraction symbol and I put f of x in parentheses as 3x minus 6. Because subtracting is not as simple as addition where you just combine like terms. We're going to combine like terms, but we need to subtract this entire quantity. So I have one step to go before I go to combining like terms, and that is to distribute the negative. So I don't have to do anything to g of x yet. So I'm just going to rewrite it. And now I'm going to distribute this negative. I'm going to pretend there's a 1 right here. Distribute the negative to both terms. We have negative 1 times 3x is minus 3x. And negative 1 times negative 6 is a positive 6. Now I can go through and combine my like terms. I see 2x squared, nothing to combine it with, so I just write it down there. I see negative 4x and a negative 3x. Notice I always keep the sign that's in front of the number. So I combine those two and I have a minus 7x. And the last terms, Positive 8, positive 6 combines to be plus 14. So g of x minus f of x is 2x squared minus 7x plus 14. I'd like to show you a subtraction, one more subtraction example. Let's say we have f of x is 2x minus 4, and g of x is negative 5x plus 2. We are to find f of x minus g of x. So we'll start by writing f of x, 2x minus 4. We're going to subtract it with the entire quantity of g of x, which is negative 5x plus 2. I put it in parentheses so that I can distribute the negative and combine like terms properly. So I'm going to rewrite 2x minus 4. I'm going to take that negative sign. I pretend there's a negative 1. I'm going to distribute the negative 1 to both terms. So negative 1 times negative 5 is positive 5x. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Go through, combine like terms. We have 2x and a positive 5x combines to get 7x. Negative 4 and a negative 2 is minus 6. So f of x minus g of x in this scenario is 7x minus 6. So we've talked about adding, we've talked about subtracting. Now we're going to talk about multiplying. G of x times f of x, where f of x is x plus 2. G of x is different color, x squared minus 4. So we can start by writing g of x. I'm going to put it in this quantity, x squared minus 4. We are going to multiply it with x plus 2. That is the quantity for f of x. Now we have two binomials where what we are going to do is we are going to FOIL. Where F stands for the first, O stands for the outside, I stands for the inside, and L stands for the last. So I'm going to draw this out. So the first terms in this quantity are x squared times x. Now when I multiply x's, I just add the exponents. Here's an exponent of 2. This one's never written, but it's 1. So x squared times x is x to the third power. Now I need to find the outside. So the outside terms would be x squared and 2. So x squared times 2 is a positive 2x. I stands for the inside terms. So the inside terms would be negative 4 and x, which would give me minus 4x. And my last terms are the two numbers I haven't multiplied yet. Negative 4 and 2 becomes minus 8. After I FOIL, now I combine like terms. So the only terms I can combine are 2x minus 4x. So I'm going to rewrite this as x cubed. 2 minus 4 would be negative 2x minus 8. So in this scenario, g of x times f of x is x cubed minus 2x minus 8. That was the FOIL method. I'm going to show you a different method called the box method. We still have f of x and g of x, where g of x is x squared minus 5x plus 6, and f of x is 5x minus 6. So the box method says that we can make a box or maybe a rectangle based on the terms. So I'm going to draw a rectangle here where I'm going to place g of x on top. Okay, something happened with the iPad here, hang on. I'm going to place g of x on top. I'm going to have x squared, leave space, I'll put a negative 5x and a positive 6. I need to extend it. And then I'm going to draw little columns surrounding each term. So I got 3 columns for 3 terms. On the side here, down the column, I'm going to put f of x, 5x, and a negative 6. And I'm going to complete my table here by splitting it in half there. So each term I'm going to multiply to get the next box. So for instance, I'm going to take x squared times 5x, and that is going to leave me with 5x to the third power. Then I'm going to use 5x times negative 5x, and that'll leave me with negative 25. X times x is x to the second power. Let's find a different color. Lastly, I've got 5x times 6, which is 30x. Now let's multiply the bottom row. So we have x squared times negative 6, which is negative 6x squared. Then as you can see, negative 5 times negative 6 gives me positive 30x. And my last, but not least, negative 6 times positive 6, which is negative 36. Once we have completed the box, filled it all in, we need to combine the like terms. I'm going to start up here in this corner, 5x cubed. There's nothing to combine that with. 5x cubed. In the box method, most likely your terms that are alike are going to line up in a diagonal. So this would be negative 6 minus 25, leaving us with a negative 31x squared. Now let's look to the next diagonal. 30x and 30x will combine to be positive 60x, and my last term is just minus 36. So sometimes it's not a 2 by 2, sometimes it is a 3 by 2 or a 2 by 3. So multiplying, you can use more than one method. You can use the box method or you can use the FOIL method. I will leave that up to you to decide.